Jason here with a review of the Masters of the Universe Ram Man, Heroic Human Battering Ram. So this is a deluxe figure set. There's some lovely artwork on the front there of Rammy. We've got spring-loaded body that blasts back, modern posing, retro play. You can see all the additional, so obviously a more traditional style axe, an extra hand, and then a double-sided axe, and some more, I don't know, sort of 2000X inspired armor with the mouthpiece covered. And then there is Ram Man in all his glory. We'll turn around the back, and we've got this lovely artwork. The powerhouse Ram Man uses his head in battle, bowling down enemies and destroying weapons. So there he is taking on Faker in Roton, giving him a big headbutt there. Skeletor doesn't look too impressed. So we then have basically here, push down to lock into launch position, push again to spring into action, twist into powerful battle positions. And then we have some of the bottom line, which all bar Clamp Champ I have received. So let's open him up and take a look at him outside the packet. So here we have Ram Man out of the packet. So it comes with the Battle Armor Reborn mini comic. Same comic for all of the deluxe figures in this line. So Skeletor, He-Man, and then I'm assuming Clamp Champ as well. It then has this that shows the parts that can be removed. So the arms, the fists or the hands, and the head can be removed. None of the body or the legs can, because obviously of the spring-loaded feature. We get the double-edged sword in a sort of grey, not probably more metallic than the other one. And then we've got the traditional sword, the traditional axe. There's a bit of sort of little jaggedness there on the edge. There's a few little dots there. It's not too bad, fairly basic. Little bits of plastic sort of sticking off the end there. I'll have to tidy that up a bit. We then have the hand. I do love the fact that it's just a big, meaty, sort of thick sausage hand to match obviously Ram Man being a stouter figure, I guess. And then we have the spare head. So the head is sculpted sort of in there as a internal mold in that color, with the eyes looking out, and it has the Shredder-esque mouth guard there on this particular version of the helmet. I do like the helmet, both the original and the this additional one has some, you know, some little dings and scratches molded in from all of the continual headbutts from Ram Man. And I did like in the Filmation cartoon that Ram Man was a little bit slow, possibly because he's hit his head a number of times. So the figure itself, this is hefty. This is the mechanism in this. It just has far more weight than the original Ram Man. Really thick sort of figure. So we've got, as I said, that sculpt of a couple of little dings in the top of the helmet there. We got Rammy looking through. You can see his mouth. He's got the traditional sort of style with the red and the giant big buckle with the skull on it. He's got the two sort of chains holding his armor down. He's got the skirt piece. He's got the green sort of tire legs. And again, that was part of the feature in the day. So the articulation's a little different on this figure. So I'll run through that in a second. But that's him there. So no little joint on the back of the leg to make him pop up. But the feature, we can have a look at the feature quickly. So basically, we push down and that locks him in to place. So he's only slightly shorter than he was before. And then if we tap him again, he sort of jumps up. So that's him in full height. That's him locked down, and he gets a bit of a jump on him. So let's have a look a little bit further at the articulation, and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so here is Ram Man. So the head, obviously there is a little bit of movement there, but not much. So basically the little armor piece here sort of locks into place in sort of behind his collar. So he's always, I mean, the reality is he's basically in a huge giant piece of armor over his head. So to keep his neck safe, there wouldn't be any real movement in that. So he's a bit like, you know, old school Batman. So arm wise, his arm actually can go all the way out, and can rotate around, and there is an elbow joint. They are very stiff out of the box, and then obviously there is a wrist joint, and there's a little bit of a rock back and forward there, but not much with the arms. But I do like he's got the fist happening there, and he's got the hand holding there. This is a more sort of rubberized piece, so you can actually move it up and it doesn't really affect. So you can do him sort of doing the look at me, Mr. Muscles, I am the champion. And then yeah, the belt buckle, this is all solid because of the mechanism, I'm assuming. Leg wise though, he can twist at the, I guess, the knee joint, and the foot, no, the foot doesn't twist at all. But there is a bend back apparently, but it's very stiff. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to bend, and I'm not willing to. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's a bit stiff if it is a bend there. It certainly appears to have the cut for a bend, so that you could fold one leg back into sort of a running pose, I guess. Ah, there we go. Man, that was a big crack when I did that, which was a little bit nervous. So he can sort of do a little so yeah, I don't, well, ultimately I'm assuming that his legs are limited because obviously it will then affect the mechanism. So we put him back in place so that when he goes down like that, yeah, it just reaches onto the cup there. So that is Ram Man in his pose down form. Now weapon wise, he can, ooh, very tight here, which is good. So he can hold his traditional axe, looks really good. So you can get a bit of movement there with that axe. And then his other hand, if we can get that off. These ones are fairly stiff, so you can have him two-handed. So the other axe could lock in there like that. So he could be, you know, dual blade. And then I think also this might be designed so that you can join them together into a sort of a longer sort of weapon where it's a double axe. I don't know if you can have too much axe, but that just seems a bit of overkill for me personally. But we'll move that out of his hand and then see if we can get the head off. Well, this will be interesting. Oh, there we go. So yeah, he does have just a very basic joint there, and effectively it's just to join the head on. There's no real rocker or movement in there. And so this is the other head. So we just pop that on till it locks into place, and there we have him in his, you know, fighting the Ninja Turtles Shredder style mask with the little faceplate in place. So that's when he's really, you know, maybe that's for when he busts through asbestos walls, so he's not breathing in the asbestos and things like that. But that is Ram Man.